Okay, let's start now. Um, Welcome all. Um, Good evening and welcome all to the Test Automation Masterclass taster session. So today we're going to discuss the test automation, what topics we cover in Test Automation Masterclass, and also we talk about test automation in general and also do a live exercise. So let me share my screen. Can hopefully everybody can see my screen. No, I don't think so. Sorry. So right. So as I said, to discuss the agenda today, let's go into the introduction. So basically, why do we do test automation? Test automation, before going to test automation, why do we do testing? So people say we do testing to find bugs. No, definitely that is not the right answer, but we do testing to make sure that the application under test conforms to the system requirements. So as in the process of making sure that the application meets the requirements, we find bugs. So bugs can be either exceptions that the application throws, or uh, the the system doesn't meet the requirements. So why do you need automation for this process? So normally these days everybody has started using agile since long time, and as part of the agile, it's an iterative process in by nature. So as part of it, um, software gets updated all the time. So for example, a developer fixes a bug and then he introduces another bug by mistake. Now this is called regression. So generally, a test team has a regression pack. These are a set of tests they run to make sure that the existing features are not broken. So um, here, for example, imagine that you want to run for every change you make in the software, you want to run the whole regression pack. It's not practically possible to do manually. So that's where automation comes in place. So you automate the regression pack, uh, and then you run the regression pack regularly for every change check-in you make, or for every nightly basis, depending on how large the regression pack is. So um, that's why you need test automation. So you can automate other things, but in general, normally the regression testing is automated. So so that is the purpose of automation. Um, Now there is a cost of automation. So you need to spend money to hire a team to automate, to hire skilled people to automate the tests. And also you need people to maintain the tests, because the software is always changing. There is a good chance that the tests will break uh, going forward. So somebody needs to maintain the test suite and then keep them up to date. So so this is a test pyramid. So you might have seen this in earlier. So these are kind of automated tests. We have different types of automated tests. We have like the unit tests written by the developers, the component tests written by both combination of developers and testers, and then integration tests, and then the uh, automated API tests, which are like the functional tests. Normally the most of the functional system level tests are automated at API level. And then the GUI tests, we have the end-to-end tests. End-to-end tests are normally automated by a like a tool like Selenium, and then on top of it we have the user acceptance tests. So okay, let's dive into what. So the main reason for having this webinar is to give an introduction of what about a test automation course that I'm about to take. So in shortly, like after a week or 10 days, I will start the course. So it's a 5-day course. It's very rigorous course. So uh, it's like I teach hands-on. Mostly I focus on hands-on rather than theory part, because I feel theory is a sleeping pill. So I focus less on theory and more on hands-on, and I will show initially how to automate, use the tools and how to automate, and then I will make you write automated tests, give assignments, and then come back and we use Jenkins, we use continuous integration and continuous CI/CD pipelines, and we set up I will set up the Jenkins scratch, and you will write the jobs. You'll create the jobs in Jenkins for yourself and use Jenkins to automate the execution of the tests, things like that. So we'll take a live system and write test cases first, and then we prioritize the test cases and then um, the automate all the not all the test cases, but the test cases which are relevant that can be automated. So in the first day, we'll cover mostly theory part, and then setting up the development environment, GitLab accounts, checking the Jenkins access, things like that, and we'll write a small program. On the second day, we'll go full speed ahead with writing the test cases first, and then automating them using the tool of choice like Cypress or Selenium. You might not have heard of Cypress, but it's a new kid in the street. So, but it has many advantages over Selenium. It's more stable. It's much quicker. It's it gives predictable results. So it's mostly in JavaScript. By the way, sorry, I forgot to mention. You have any questions at any point of time, you can just ask in the Q&A section. So uh, so so I mean, and then we push to GitLab and then set up the Jenkins and things like that, and we write more test cases, automate more test cases using the UI test cases using the tool, and give assignments and write automate more. That's the second day. Third day, we'll excuse me, we'll wrap up the write some negative scenarios and then wrap up the UI automation part, and then for start um, focusing on the API automation. We'll just make a initiation, and then on the fourth day we will go full speed ahead with the writing API test cases and automating them and moving them to Jenkins, things like that. So, and then maintaining the API test cases. So um now the fifth day, this is where it gets interesting. Now why we are doing all this? Obviously to do move from manual testing to automation in the same job, or get a job as a automation tester in a new company. So we want to focus on make this job oriented by focusing on uh, uh, more on job. So basically I will focus half of the time at least, or more than that, to on a job assistance program, I call this. So see, I know how things work. I have been in UK for more than 10 years now, and I know um, I will let you know some secrets about how the job uh, scenario works. I mean, so which will enable you to get a, be ahead of the other um, job seekers, and fall in the eyes of the right people. So this is all completely, I mean, the right way. I mean, I'll tell you the right way of looking for a job. So I normally use this myself in day-to-day things. Whenever I need a job and I get a job, contract job within like a week or two, I once the contract is over, the next contract I within a week or two. So I mean, I want you to make use of this opportunity, and I mean, basically, uh, I will also register all the students with under a Facebook group. That's a private group and also a Discord chat. So that's a group of all the students in this organization basically will be added to that. So it becomes a thriving dynamic discussion group where people can share and ask questions and answer questions each other. And also, of course, I will be also putting in my 2 pence. So uh, that's the 5 days. So what is the benefits of doing this course? One is becoming proficient in test automation. So if you look at other courses in the market, they are more focused on the theory part, um, and less hands-on. I don't believe in that. Unless you do write the code, sit and write the code, you wouldn't get it. So that's what I will make you do. And you can hit the ground running on the job, and manual testers can move to automation roles. And you also join the thriving community of testers and in the Facebook group or Discord chat I'm talking about, and learn the additional skill of getting the jobs quicker. So um, right now, let's talk about money and how much this course really cost. So in the market, similar courses cost around £1,600 or 1,700, 1,800 pounds. So, but introductory, this is the introductory cost of 999. But the webinar attendees, I want to give a special offer to the webinar attendees of 799. So that's what you get. So at the end of the webinar, you will get a link to book the course. If you are interested and want to go ahead with the course, then you can book the course at the special offer rate. So let's now do some exercise. I will. Cypress is my favorite automation tool in UI, and it's not that I hate Selenium, but Selenium has its own issues. It's a bit flaky in my experience. You can never get 100% pass, and we actually threw a party when it was 100% pass. So it's only happened once. So so basically, let's do the exercise now. Um, can you? Sorry, I'm just looking at the questions. As you said, it's a 5-day course. What will be the timings and how long? So the 5-day course, the timings are normally, we can adjust the timings, but now I have set it to around 4 to 8. So it is 4 hours every day for five days. Hopefully that answers your question. And will you provide certificate of completion at the end of the session? Of course, you will get a certificate of completion. And uh, hopefully you can all see my screen. I'm not sure if you can see my screen. Just raise your hand if you can see my screen, anybody of you. Yeah, thank you. You can see my, hopefully, the Q&A, I think. Right. So let's open the Chrome browser first. I want to show you a record and playback session. So let's automate a DVLA car check program. So DVLA car check is what, if you enter a vehicle registration number here, it will show you, we'll take a known number. Um, it will show you what the make and color of the car. Okay, so and it will show you the text or emoji is there or not, things like that. So that's basic stuff here. Let's automate this small example. Um, um, First of all, okay, now let's do this one first, the record and playback. So Cypress has its own Cypress recorder tool, which is built into the Chrome. So now as you go do manual steps, it will record our actions. Right now, Toyota black. Okay, now, right. Oh, this is Toyota. Now let's look at the recorder, what it has done. Stop recording. Right. So it looks very clumsy. This is all JavaScript, if you don't know. Um, so Cypress basically is a JavaScript based automation tool. Doesn't mean it doesn't automate non-JavaScript web applications. It doesn't mean that. It only means that you can write only scripts in the test scripts in JavaScript. But compared to Selenium, you can write in multiple languages. So if you don't know JavaScript, that might be a deterrent for not using Cypress. But JavaScript is pretty straightforward. If you know Java or any programming language, JavaScript you can quickly learn. So now, if you, as you can see here, this is very clumsy. This is not how things are automated in offices. So let us go back to the initial page, right? And let us automate properly now. Let us take a file, okay, and say dvla.spec.js for how you write the scripts in Cypress. And okay, now describe. Um don't, don't worry, this is all JavaScript notation, and this is especially Cypress notation. So DVLA, we'll all go through this in the course definitely. DVLA car check, right, and IT, which means a test case, and DVLA car check, and let's say we are testing the make, right? Check the make and model, right? Now writing the actual test, cy dot visit. Cy is a object, inbuilt object, which calls Cypress. So you want to visit which website? We want to visit this website first, and then right, you want to visit that website, and then you want to come here and type the registration number, right? So the registration number, you don't want to give IDs and things like that. Just how the Cypress recorder did, it is giving by ID. So if you go into the source code of this, as you can see, it's an input object element with a class and a ID. See, ID is this one, wizard vehicle inquiry capture, and there is a label which has a for attribute with the same value as ID. So we are taking advantage of that. So the right way to do automation is using the labels, not the IDs and classes. So if you see you want to enter something here, you will say enter a text here based on the label here. So there is a username field, there is a password field. You will say enter value in that field which has a label username. So that's how that label doesn't change. It stays the same all the time. So you want to make use of that. So let's do that. So we want to write a method, write a function, get input by label. And you want to pass the label here. What is the label? This one. Now we want to implement this method function. Sorry, is equal to label, and then return cy dot contains this label, and then once it finds that, then we want to invoke attribute for. What that means is you want to get the attribute of for variable, which is this one, and then dot then ID. So you want to capture that value, and now cy dot get and ID. So in Cypress, you access the ID by starting with a hash. If it is a class, you say dot I value, or ID is hash value. So you get the ID of that. So you will get, essentially you are getting this input element. So hope that is clear. Right. Let's test this till this level. So now you got the text. Now you want to type the value in that element. So what is the value you typed here? This one. So you want to test this, how it works. Let's close the Chrome and open Cypress. Okay. This is how the Cypress window looks. So let's click on DVLA and it will execute that script. So it has entered that value in the text. Now we want to click continue. Oops, what does it mean? Download is in progress. No, exit. Right. So you want to click continue. So cy dot contains continue. Cypress is quite simple once you get it. Continue dot click. You click continue. Let's see what happens. We run it again. So Cypress has this built-in weighting system. So, in Selenium, you have to tell everything uh, to the I mean the tool driver driver, but in Cypress you just is built in. The weight is built in by default, which is quite handy. So now we have the make and mode color. Let's check these values, that these values are right. Okay, now Cypress. Now you want to check this value, you just write another function called verify um, verify text by label. So what this means is uh, you have this uh, oops, did I click something? Okay, I will start again. Cypress, that's not an issue. Uh, so let's run it again. Oops, yeah, I have in the middle of writing the test, sorry. Uh, Let me complete that. Mm. Yeah, sorry, I think you are raising your hand, Vijay Lakshmi. I let, um, okay, okay, sorry. Okay, you are, okay, we'll write this function now. Um, Verify text by label. So you want to pass the label as make, make, and which is Toyota, right? Verify text by label. Now, constant verify text by label. You want two parameters. So now cy dot contains the label, which is label dot. Right. So one thing I need to explain here. Let's let's go back to Google Chrome and go back to the DVLA car check. And in here, what is the vehicle ID? So in here, the make is Toyota. So you want to pass the label make and check for the value Toyota, and you want to pass the color label color and check the value black. So that's quite straightforward. So here, if you see what what type of elements these are, it's a DT and DD, which is um, basically an element type, and DT is the label name and DD is the value. So we want to get the parent, go to the parent of this and get the DD. So that's what we're going to do. So let's close Chrome again. So contains label dot I think it's get DT. wait a minute, sorry. You got the label of dt dot, okay, you got parent of that, and then you once you get the parent, you want to find the child, right? So you want to find a dd element, um, then you want to make sure that it contains the text. Okay. Now should have text. So let's run and see this. Mm, I feel I have made some mistake somewhere. Let's run and see anyway. Expected to find content make within the selector label, but never did, right? Okay, so let's go back to this thing, right? My bad, really. Here, as I said, it should be dt because it's not a label, it's a dt. So let's run it again. Suppressing. Inspect. Come on. See this value, right? Say we're getting the value with the value make dt and getting the parent and then finding dd. That's what we're doing. cy dot contains. So it is saying can't find the value dt. Let's open Chrome again. Right. You want to go to this one and This is Toyota. So DT is the label, right? Okay, and you got the parent of that. Not sure where I'm doing mistake. Okay, I have already implemented this earlier. Oops, not here. Just let me check. CY dot contains. I'm not sure exactly the same thing. Make is Toyota. I don't know why it is not working. Okay, let's run it and see again for any case. Ah, bummer. Not sure why it is working. Anyway, let's run and see the working one. Um, Now I know why it was not working. It was the timing thing. All right. Was the so you can do something like this. You can do connection timeout or something like that. There is a value called default command timeout, and you put it to a bigger value, and it will run. Great. So that's working. And okay, let's also check the. Oops. Let's also check the color. Color is black, right? And then once you check the color, you want to uh, select the radio button and then continue, right? And then click continue, and then let's see what will happen. You can't trust these government websites. They are sometimes they are slow. Okay, it has come to the last page, and you want to again check, like, say, year of manufacture. Yeah, and year of manufacture. Let's check that. And CY, sorry, verify label by text. and text label, and you want to check the year of manufacture, that is 2005. Great, so it has passed. Right, so this is normally how you write the tests, and um, hopefully this live example has given you some idea of automation, how it is done in Cypress and in general Selenium also. Let's go back to the slideshow again. Right. So any questions you may ask now. Open to ask any questions, other questions. If you have any, otherwise then we will wrap up the session. So many thanks for attending the webinar. I think we managed to save you 15 minutes of your time. And I look forward to see I mean all of you in the class hopefully, and you will get all the attendees will get a book on test automation emailed to you. That's it. So thank you very much for attending the webinar. Good luck.